The MLB trade deadline is right around the corner, and it's less than 2 weeks away on July 31st. And a lot of players are going to be on the move. Not necessarily star players, but a lot of impactful players, with so many teams fighting for a playoff seed. So here are my predictions for the MLB trade deadline. First off, I have Adrian Houser being traded to the Los Angeles Angels. Houser's having a very surprising season with the White Sox. In 10 starts, he's pitched 62 innings with a 1.89 ERA, a 1.2 whip, 44 strikeouts, and a 2.6 WAR. In my opinion, he's the top rental arm on the market, and with the White Sox being a few years away from the playoffs, it's important for them to capitalize on his value right now. And the Angels really need another starting pitcher. They're one game below 500 right now at 49-50 and are sitting 4 games out of a wildcard spot in the AL. And Houser is someone the Angels could give an extension to this offseason for probably less than $15 million a year. Then I have Luis Robert going to the Royals. The Royals definitely need some outfield help, and Robert can be in their lineup for the next few years. And if he breaks out like everyone hopes he will, he would be a massive addition to that lineup. Then I have Ryan O'Hearn going to the Astros. With Christian Walker not performing up to his contract, they could use some first base / DH help. Then I have Dennis Santana going to the Blue Jays. Santana this season has been one of the best relievers in all of the MLB. So far, in 41.1 innings out the pen, he has a 1.52 ERA, a .79 whip, 31 strikeouts, and a 1.9 WAR. And with the Blue Jays being in first place in their division, they should go all in this season and just bolster that bullpen. Then I also have the Blue Jays going out and getting Seth Lugo. With the Royals being 5.5 games out of a wildcard spot, they're probably going to be soft sellers at the deadline. So with the second half of the season, the Blue Jays could have a great rotation with Seth Lugo, Jose Barrios, Chris Bassett, Kevin Gausman, Eric Lauer. And with those two additions, the Blue Jays could be the biggest threat in the AL. Then we have one of the biggest bats on the market with Eugenio Suarez, and I have him going to the Milwaukee Brewers. He's on pace to have his best season of his career. He's hitting .257 with a 928 OPS, with an NL leading 35 home runs and an MLB leading 85 RBIs, and has a 3.4 WAR. And with the Brewers on a 10-game winning streak, they're now tied for the division lead with the Cubs, and they could use another impact bat in the middle of that lineup, and he could slide right into third base or DH, and that could make the Brewers one of the top contenders in the NL. Then I have his teammate Josh Naylor going to the Mariners. With the Diamondbacks being 8 games out of their division and 4.5 games out of the wild card, I think they're going to be sellers. And with Josh Naylor being a rental, I think he's most likely getting traded no matter what. He's overall been having a very good season. He's hitting .292 with a .361 on base percentage and an .814 OPS, and has 19 doubles and 11 home runs. And surprisingly, he already has 11 stolen bases. Then I have Shelby Miller going back to the Tigers. He played on Detroit in 2024 and struggled a lot with a 4.5 ERA, but he's been great this year with the Diamondbacks. In 36.1 innings, he has a 1.98 ERA and a 1.7 WAR, and I think he would be a great addition to their bullpen. And then I also have the Tigers going out and getting Felix Bautista, and he could solidify their closing role. He's been pretty good this year with a 2.6 ERA in 34.2 innings, and has a 1.1 whip with 50 strikeouts and a 1.0 WAR. And with the Tigers having the best record in the MLB, if they're going to go on a big playoff run, they're going to need some bullpen depth and a great closer. Then I have Chris Sale being traded to the New York Yankees. With the Braves having a very disappointing season, being 12.5 games out of their division and 10.5 games out of the wild card, they should definitely sell at the deadline. And with Chris Sale already being 36 years old and having another dominant season, they should really capitalize on his trade value. Coming off his Cy Young season, he's playing great again. He's thrown 89.1 innings and has a 2.5 ERA with a 1.1 whip, 114 strikeouts, and a 2.5 WAR. And with all the Yankees pitching injuries this season, they 100% need another starter. Then I also have the Yankees going out and gain some bullpen help by getting Ryan Helsley and Jake Bird. Then I have Sean Murphy going to the Cleveland Guardians. With Drake Baldwin having a breakout rookie season, this gives the Braves the opportunity to move on from Murphy, and he's also having a good season. And I know the Guardians have been linked to him in the past when he was on the A's. I know it's not the same coaching staff, but the same front office is still here, so I think they would be interested in him. Plus, the Guardians really need some catching help. Then as a Guardians fan, this next trade would hurt a little bit, but I think you need to capitalize on Emmanuel Clase's trade value right now because he is on such a good contract with a few years left. So I have Emmanuel Clase being traded to the Boston Red Sox, but in return, I think the Guardians would get Jarren Duran. This would be a win-win trade for both sides, since the Red Sox would get their closer for the next few years. Then the Guardians have another bat they could build around, and the top of that lineup for Cleveland would be incredible, with Steven Kwan, Jarren Duran, Jose Ramirez, and Kyle Manzardo. And then with the Dodgers not being able to get Clase, I think their next best option would be Carlos Estevez. He's been one of the best closers in the MLB this season. He has the second most saves with 26, and he has a 2.74 ERA and a 1.15 whip, and that would just be the Dodgers solidifying their bullpen. Then I have Marcell Ozuna going to the Giants. The Giants could use another big power bat, and with Rafael Devers already saying he is willing to play first base for the Giants, Ozuna could slide right into the DH role and help out their offense a lot. Then I have the Phillies getting Harrison Bader and David Bednar. With their championship window closing, they need to buy at this year's deadline. Bader's having a very good season with the Twins, and he would give the Phillies some great help in the outfield, especially in center field. Then David Bednar would be a great addition to their bullpen, and he's once again having a great season. Then I have Carlos Santana going to the Rangers. Santana is another first base rental that's making $12 million this season, so Cleveland's definitely going to want to get off that contract, and the Rangers could use some first base help right now. Then I have Mitch Keller going to the Astros. With the Pirates not even close to a playoff spot, they're going to be selling hard this season. And they did sign Keller to an extension a few years ago, but they're probably not going to want to pay that much money, even though he is on a team-friendly deal, making just $15.4 million this season. Then it goes up to $16.9 next year. But with 3.5 years of control left, this is a great time to trade him. And the Astros could use another arm, and he eats a lot of innings. I think the Astros are just a good fit for him. Then finally, I have Sandy Alcantara being traded to the Padres. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments who you think is going to be traded. And if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe. Goodbye.